Instructional Design Plan by Kristen Stevenson. The performance context of my instructional design plan is focused on second grade students at Pulaski Elementary School. Pulaski Elementary School is made up of 40.8% African American students, 52% Hispanic or Latino students, 3.9% Caucasian students, and 2.6% multiracial students. Additional statistics for Pulaski Elementary School in Wilmington, Delaware are that 36.6% of the students are English language learners. 72.9% of these students come from low-income families. 14.7% of these students receive special education services. Because of these statistics, multiple teaching strategies may be pertinent to meet the needs of all students in the classroom. Overview of goal. I noticed that there were multiple needs in my class. Some of the needs that I identified were that students needed to have improved social skills and needed to be able to complete assignments on grade level. The specific goals that I identified were that students will be able to demonstrate basic knowledge of grade level, ELA, social studies, science, and engineering standards. Also, students will be able to complete a design challenge while using collaboration with appropriate social and emotional skills. Here's a breakdown of the goal, focusing on each individual aspect of it. You can see at the top the main goal. Students will be able to conduct a design challenge while working in a collaborative group. The design challenge will meet grade level ELA, science, social studies, and engineering standards. To do this, students will identify the definition of collaboration and determine the importance of working in a collaborative group. They will then identify expectations for working in a collaborative group while working toward grade level standards. Then they will complete a partner or small group activity to practice the expectations for a collaborative group. If they are unable to do this, we will go back to the beginning and reteach. If they are able to complete this, we will move to step 4. The students will develop a plan for their design challenge and determine which roles each group member will partake to complete the assignment. Step 5. The students will test their project and determine changes that need to be made. Collaborative decision-making will occur to recreate and retest. The students will then determine if their project is the most successful or if they want to redesign. The students will present their final product to their peers. And finally, the students will conduct their final presentation and a reflection based on their participation and the participation of their peers. The students will identify how well the group worked collaboratively together and how well the students met the ELA, science, social studies, and engineering standards. If this is complete, then students will be able to say that they were able to successfully meet the goal of this design challenge. So, the instructional strategies. How are students going to show the process for this design challenge? It will begin with the collaboration activity where students show that they are able to successfully work together to complete an assignment. Once they prove that they're able to collaborate effectively, they will begin the design challenge. The ask portion of the design challenge has students asking questions about the animal that they're going to be building a shelter for. They're going to find out as much information as they can and really answer all of the questions that they have pertaining to their specific animal. Then they are going to imagine, they're going to draw up a blueprint of what they think a shelter for their specific animal would be like. The plan section is when they work together to sort of put all of their blueprints into one to develop what they think will be the most effective as a group. The next portion is to create. This is when students will create their actual animal shelter using different supplies such as popsicle sticks, straws, cardboard, bubble wrap, styrofoam, that sort of thing. Once the animal shelter is complete, students will test it. They will test the animal shelter using things like a hair dryer to act as wind, a spray bottle to act as rain, and flour to act as snow. They will be able to see how effective their animal shelter was during these different forms of weather. Once they're able to see that, students are able to redesign their animal shelter. They can use what they've learned through the testing to redesign it to make it stronger and more effective. Once they redesign it, they're able to test again, and then they will communicate their findings with their peers to explain what they did and how they created it and why they think it's the most effective. There are many assessments throughout this design challenge. Formative assessments include observations, different activities like the brainstorming worksheets, a group design plan, and the design log that students will refer back to throughout the planning and testing portions of the design challenge. There's also summative assessments, which would be the final presentation that each group develops, and also an exit ticket at the end of the lesson. And one of the most important ones is a self-assessment. Students will complete this during their exit ticket at the end of the lesson. This will give each student an opportunity to individually reflect on their design and how they contributed to the final product. So how will we determine if the plan was successful? We will determine this through the use of the assessments, scoring with rubrics. We will be able to identify if the needs were met. We will be able to reteach material that students are unable to show. And we will use their knowledge and understanding to drive instruction. So if students are not fully understanding the material, we will use what they know and understand to really drive and push the instruction to help them better understand the new material. So what have I learned through this process? I've learned that it's a very beneficial classroom tool, and I'm definitely able to apply it in many areas of my instruction in my classroom. I have many needs in my classroom, and I definitely think breaking down the process to meet the needs of each individual is definitely helpful and is a great resource to use in my classroom. Completing a thorough instructional design plan will definitely help students become and remain successful in the classroom.